Hey guys, Michael from Genfit Training Centre here. Today, just to kind of go over a few tips on why wearing a lifting belt is important for your lifts. Firstly, it does help keep your pants, oh wait, we're talking about the wrong belt there. It's not this one that helps keep your pants up. Yeah, going over a few of the importances behind wearing a lifting belt, whether you're lifting bench, deads or squats. For myself, I find it is an important piece of equipment to have. In saying that, when I'm doing bench, I'm not just using my belt on every lift, as I'm going to my heavier lifts, just to more focus on my brace and a little bit of extra support when I'm going to my heavier lifts with my bench, dead, squats, even sometimes some of my other exercises as a brace. So, just a few reasons on why that actually is so important to wear. Increased stability, having the actual belt on to its tightest point and engaging it correctly. It's going to support your lower back, creating more stability and preventing injury. So as you'll see, once we're on and we're locked up there, a lot of support up around that lower back, squishing it in. You do want it tight, not to be loose, and it's just going to create a bit of brace and support for you there. So obviously, as I stated in that, not only is it for stability, but it's going to help prevent injury, especially when we're going into those heavier lifts. A lot of the muscles are on and under a lot of strain, especially the back, when we're going through these movements. So the tighter it is supporting that core and our posterior chain, it's going to take the chance of preventing a little bit more less injury if we do have an issue when we're lifting. So it can help increase your lifting capacity. So obviously, as we're in our lighter lifts, we're going to ensure we don't wear our belt when we're benching, squatting or deadlifting, allowing us to focus on a natural brace, trying to engage our core correctly. But then as we're getting to a heavier range, especially when you're looking at like your 1 rep maxes, 2 rep maxes or fatigue sets, putting the belt on, number one, reminds you to brace, number two, locks in that core a little bit more. So it's just a good way to prevent injury when you're going for those heavier lifts as well. And again, improved posture and mechanics. So having that belt on, engaging our core is going to stop us from slumping forwards, keeping our posture up a lot more when we've got it on. So we might slouch a little bit as you've got that belt on, nice and tight, and you're going into your lifts, whether it's your squat or your deadlift position, just keeps everything braced a little bit harder, keeping it a little bit more upright. They're just quick tips. One of the other big ones is obviously just enhanced confidence in putting on that belt is always going to increase your ego by about 50%. So when you're going for those 1 RM ego lifts, you're definitely going to get it when you put on one of these. I'm just kidding. Do not put your belt on an ego lift. You're definitely going to injure yourself if you give it a crack. But yeah, so from my point of view, definitely an important piece of lifting equipment. Mostly important for bracing, longevity in your lifts, and assisting you with those heavier lifts. You can use your lifting belt on your bench, dead, squats. I do use it for a lot of my movements, but in my heavier sets, just to give me that extra bit of brace, it is completely pointless using it at those lighter weights and not letting your core engage by yourself, learning that mind-muscle connection. Mainly for our heavy lifts, as a support, brace, stability, and a little bit of extra confidence. So that is my tip for wearing a pretty pink belt. So look, if you are unsure, you want to know how to use the brace, use the belt, what belt you should be using for yourself, these are all good questions. There's 1,000 different belts out there. There's, as you can see, we've got our lever belts, we've got belts with the little teeth in them. We've got 8mm, 10mm, 12mm belts. There is belts for all different kinds of situations. There's CrossFit belts. There's, I was going to say something inappropriate then, lucky I didn't. So yeah, there's all different kinds of belts that you can get for your training. So if you're unsure of what kind you're going to get, go and speak to a professional, speak to a coach, speak to a trainer, speak to a belt provider, and try and find what will suit you for the way you're lifting, because using one of these for a more of a functional based form of training is going to be a lot less effective than using something that's a little bit thinner with just more of a back support when you might be doing your cleans in a CrossFit competition or something like that. So belts will have little differences depending on what your style of training is. So yes, if you are unsure, definitely speak to a professional, which I am not. But no, speaking to somebody that's in the know, make sure you get the right fitting, how to use the belt, how to brace with it, all that kind of stuff. And if you do know when you see somebody struggling, the same thing, go up and chat to them, point them in the right direction, because that could be the question that somebody is scared to ask that can set them up on the next part of their journey as well. So